Right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's early. It's winter has hit. As people roll in, I just want to thank everybody for joining. As always, coming on board the live stream. If you are watching this on the replay, we go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Pacific time to about 8:45, 9 o'clock, just depending how the conversation goes. Checking on the market, see how the portfolio is doing, share a bit of news, answer your questions, and learn from the community. So it would be great to have you join along. If this is your first time, don't be afraid to leave a comment and say hi. So let's see who we have here. Don't be afraid. A good group of people, definitely here to help everybody out with their TFSA. I've learned a lot from the community. They haven't steered me wrong yet, and I have another question for them all today. But yeah, so welcome. I guess the first thing I just wanted to bring up, the little channel update. I will be sharing my portfolio. I'll do a video hopefully today. I will get a chance to do that. I haven't done a full review video for a little while since buying that div share. So I will be filming that, I promise. And the only other thing one thing I wanted to share from the channel is, hopefully, if you have seen it on my community tab, first thing first though, sip of coffee, and we'll do our good mornings. But I will share the community tab in a minute. Zach, good morning. Good morning. We're supposed to get snow today here, so not looking forward to that. So I went out early and picked up groceries before I have to drive in the snow. I've already been out for the day. Day's already started, and let me just share my one screen here. Sorry, this just takes a second. And I think it's this page. It is this page. There we go. So on my community tab, and good morning, Stan. If you haven't voted after the stream, go put a vote. So poll to see what we're going to have for if we're going to maybe have a Santa rally this year. Obviously, December is coming up. I can't believe it's almost December. It's like this year has just gone totally flown by. So are we going to get a Santa rally? 60-40 split roughly so far. That's like the portfolio split. It's a lot of people saying no, but some people optimistic. I'm optimistic. I like to stay optimistic, and we'll see if we do get that. So make sure you head over there at some point and put your vote in or leave a comment. And there was actually a good couple comments already. From a few people, from Timothy Watt. He's like, on the bright side, if we don't see a Santa rally, we'll have a great Boxing Day sale in the market. So yeah, I guess there's two ways to look at it. And DSAR live stream, it actually has felt it. I mean, we're down this year, but it has felt it's been sideways for like a long time. It really does. It doesn't seem like we get a bit of a bump, bit of a rally, and then it just seems to come right back down again. So it feels like that. And then a comment by Vadim, Black Friday consumer spending was higher than expected. It was. We were talking about that yesterday, and I think the Cyber Monday stuff should start coming out probably today. I haven't seen too much on it yet, but I haven't been looking that much for it, but I'm sure that will be out. Wall Street's worried the Federal Reserve will get wrong impression and keep raising rates into late 2023. Thinking the economy is strong when it's not. Yeah, interesting take for sure on that. So head on over and give that a vote whenever you have a chance. And MC, good morning. Good to have you here at the very beginning. You caught us today. That's awesome. So welcome. Good morning. And I think I said hi to Stan. I'm pretty sure I did. Morning, Stan. Welcome. It's always good to have you back. All the regulars on the stream. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet, and the heat hasn't kicked in yet. I've got the heat on today, but it's still warming up in here. Another article I did have. Let's present this. This is kind of the big I guess big news in Canada today. Anyways, I wonder if anybody can guess this before I pull it up, but I'm sure some people have already seen this. Royal Bank is wanting to buy HSBC. So there was word, it's a couple of months ago now, I guess HSBC was putting the feelers out for people to buy them, or the Canadian arm of it. And Royal Bank has put forward to purchase HSBC for 13.5 billion. I believe that's Canadian dollars. If I'm not mistaken, it is Canadian, and expected to close by late 2023. So that is interesting. It's consolidating more in the financial industry in Canada. Obviously, the big, we got the big five. The last, if I'm not mistaken, the last time that, now this will obviously have to go to the, through all everything to make sure the competition bureau, but it'll ultimately, I think will get approved. But I think the last, I think the last big bank merger, if I'm not mistaken, in Canada was, and I can't remember what year. It's probably close to 10 years ago now. Was, I think, when Scotiabank bought ING Direct, and then obviously it was renamed in that process to Tangerine, I think shortly after. So that was that. So I don't know what the plan is for RBC. Are they going to rename it, or are they just rolling it into RBC? Royal Bank, no idea. Will it be interesting to see how that pans out? I know one thing with HSBC is that we're always you always see the ads online, and you hear not so much in the car and the radio or anything like that, but you see ads a lot. They were very aggressive and had really good mortgage rates, for spring markets and stuff in Canada. So that will probably be going away as RBC rolls it in. I think Tangerine was much the same way, or ING at the time. I remember knowing that it had really good. It was always kind of known for its high ING Direct, right? Save your money, and it was always known for their higher interest rates, for higher, when I say higher interest rates for savings, I mean, and low, good rates for GICs and good mortgage rates. And I think they've kind of gotten away from the mortgage or the lending. The lending side is not their focus necessarily anymore with their ING mortgage, but ING still, I keep calling ING Tangerine still has decent, savings rates and a decent GIC rates as well. I think probably a little bit sharper than Scotiabank, as they've kept it in kind of two separate, individual, connected yet individual companies. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with HSBC. A little bit less competition, I guess, in the Canadian market, but that's our banks. We don't have the same, banking systems as the States, with the number of banks and everything else, for better or worse. And Rod, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. It's always nice to have the regulars here, for sure. So that was the news I had to share. If anybody has anything that they want to bring up, as always, you're welcome. Fire it in the chat. It's always good to hear what people are seeing. Yesterday, obviously not a super great day on the market with everything that was happening in China. And then it's funny how everything can change in a day, because today, we're basically pulling back even. It seems like pretty flat so far today. China, from the news I've been reading, is trying to maybe take a little bit of a pivot and roll out more vaccinations, instead of this whole their whole zero COVID policy. But we'll have to see how that pans out, for sure. And they did, yeah, that's right, MC, Canadian Bank, Bank of Nova Scotia. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I can always pull this up. I think Bank of Nova Scotia was, if I'm not mistaken, was down today. Sorry, let me pull up trading view of Bank of Nova Scotia. It's funny, I think their earnings were more than expected, but less than last year. It's funny how that always works out. And then the stock goes down, even though they're still making money. Let me pull that up. Yeah, it is down today. Hold on, I can share this. I can share this screen, MC. Let's pull that up so we can see. Yeah, so drop today, down. Let's just see here. Down a little bit. This is 1 minute chart. So as you can see, with it opening, but Yeah, it's interesting how they do that. I think they made, what was it they made? Let's just pull some news up if I can find some news on it. Yeah, they made, how much did they make here? They made Canadian 3.13 billion in the quarter. So that is decent, but less than the quarter from the year prior, I guess. So that causes prices to go down. So maybe a good time to. I know there's a few people that have Bank of Nova Scotia holdings. Might be a good time to buy. I don't know. And Nadia, welcome back. Good morning. Yes, there's snow. We're getting snow here on the West Coast, which is it's always more rare for us. So it's always a big deal. Hasn't quite started snowing yet, though. A few flakes, but we're supposed to get quite a bit. Yeah, MC. Yeah, you like Royal and Toronto, TD Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank. Bank of Nova Scotia, I think, is down about 20% this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read. I think I read that. Let's just see here. Yeah, the shares are down. I'm just looking here. The shares are down. It just pulls up a bit of an article on the earnings. They're down 21% this year, compared to the S&P like bank index is down 7.6%. So they haven't been doing very well. I do own Scotiabank and BTC.Y, but not obviously individual shares of that. So we'll see. I think all the earnings start. I'm not sure when the other ones will start to all the others. I'm sure will start to roll out as well on that. On that note, with VDY, I have a question for all the channel and viewers. So obviously, as you know, Wealthsimple now has the ability to do auto. They always had auto deposits into their invest side, but now they have auto purchases for shares. So I'm actually looking to do a weekly deposit into my TFSA, and I will post this as well on the community tab, so to get everybody a chance to maybe vote. But I'm trying to figure out what I want to buy. I want to start to build up my BTC.Y VFV, but because everybody's talking about it on the channel, I'm also been looking at XEQT, which is that like ETF of ETF. So I'm wondering if I should set up the auto deposit for. I started to do it, and I'm like, no, I'm going to ask people what the suggestions are. So VDY, VFV, XEQT are kind of the three that I'm kind of debating uh, as it goes. So I'm planning to do $50 a week, just to start to build that up. So I'm torn. I'm either thinking, like, the reason for thinking VDY is because the dividends are good. They'll pay monthly, and then the $50 would allow me to get just over one share. Obviously, if I'm buying VDY, dividends still get paid, or sorry, VFE dividends or XEQT dividends are quarterly. And we'll see. I see your comment, Zach. That's perfect, right? And Abigail, good morning. Welcome back. Haven't seen you for a while. I must have been on vacation or something. I'm not sure, but good to have you back. I know. I know Nadia was on vacation, so maybe you were on vacation too. I'm not sure, but good to have you back. Good time to go away would be now when it's cold out. Well, depending where you are. And yeah, join the dark side. I knew I would get a suggestion from some, for XEQT. But it looks. I've been looking at it. I'm looking at the holdings on it and everything else. I mean, there would be some double up with stuff in terms of with VFV in that, but a bit more, obviously, a lot more diversification. So I might actually do that. Just kind of roll it in and just do regular little small deposits. I still want to keep adding, and putting into my other positions as well. That's the hard part. There's never enough money to go around, but I want to be, like, one thing I really want to do is to be and this is more so for in the new year too, is to be really diligent at making sure I'm dollar cost averaging on things, and doing it that way, so I don't, so I kind of keep to a plan in terms of keeping it going. That's the main thing. And Abigail, oh, you were away. Oh, okay. Watch them later. Perfect. Yeah, thanks for watching later. It's always appreciated. Yeah, that's exactly it. VFE. So if you want to keep VFE, I still want to keep VFE. I'm not going to be selling the ones I want to have. Higher U.S. exposure, exactly. Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of it's very. I mean, they're very similar. If you look at the holdings between the two, it's like it's kind of in. Although XEQT has a bit of exposure with international, right? So I have to look into it more because a lot of the main holdings are basically a lot of the holdings are basically the same as VFE and VDY because the S&P index one is very similar. It's kind of very similar. So it would just give me a bit more, I think, diversification, and I guess a bit of exposure to some international as well, which might not be a bad thing. So I might join the dark side. I started to do it, and I'm like, I gotta ask. So I'll put a poll. I'll put a poll up for everybody. I know, Zach, you're a big. I understood the sentence. It's I know you're a big supporter of it, and there's a few other people that are. So I don't think I can necessarily go wrong with that. So I'll get that started. That's kind of my goal for the new. We'll start that pretty quick to get that kind of going. So then I can kind of not forget about my portfolio, but kind of like put a little bit in there to kind of start to build that, keep continually to build that core, the core holdings on there. That's my goal. And then like into the new year, I do want to really, the big thing for me coming up is like my car is almost paid for. That'll be up in my last payment is January. So it's finished in February, if I'm not mistaken. I have bi-weekly payments, so I have to double check. So I think it's finished in January, but like it comes like there's beginning of February, it's like kind of actually done. And so I keep checking that, and it's almost like it's so close. It's so close to being paid off. It's so nice. I think I only have. It's going to be nice because that will save me. And then my plan is to keep, because I'm used to putting that automatic deposit to or not deposit, but automatic withdrawal coming out for my car payment. I'm going to switch it to do it into my TFSA. So I'll probably put it into the same automatic one that I pick. That's kind of my theory. I keep that going, try and keep that going as much as possible. It would sometimes be nice to have the extra money every month too, because obviously everything's getting more expensive with inflation, but I'm kind of used to it. So I'm going to do my best to just keep it coming out. So and go there. Because actually it was funny because I did have a comment on the channel the other day, and it was about cars actually, and it was from Brian, and he's like, and it was actually true. He made a comment. It was on yesterday's stream after watching it. He's like, find a way, because I think I was mentioning cars too. He's like, find a way to live without a car, and you're halfway to rich, and that's pretty true because cars are expensive. Even if you don't drive a lot, like I'm thankful I don't have to drive to an office or anything like that, but it's still pricey, right? All the other stuff, oil changes and tire service and insurance and gas, although gas is cheaper, and I don't have to drive a lot, but it still adds up if you add it up over the year, you keep track of everything. So it'll be nice when that's paid for. Keep talking about that, but that'll be nice to have one less bill every month on there. So I do. Thanks, Zach, for that suggestion. I know you'll steer me in that direction, but we'll put it up. We will post it on the community tab as well. So we go on that note with the community, we're still doing we have the live stream. Candace isn't here today, but I always want to plug it because we are going to have that live stream with Candace from Mountain Finance on Saturday. It's going to be at 10 o'clock Pacific time or 1 Eastern. And we'll talk about our channels and YouTube. So that will be a good one. So hopefully you can catch us on the weekend. It's a bit different time, obviously, but I think that would be fun. Candice usually has a good crew on her channel. We have a lot of overlap, but we might get some new visitors and some new chatting. So that will always be fun going forward on there as well. With that. And that was all the news I had. So if anybody has questions, comments, it's always appreciated. You can jump in. I'm enjoying my coffee here in the morning. No new purchases since last week on the portfolio. But other than that, just keeping an eye on things, and always wishing you had more money to put into it, but not always the case. I think I don't know. We talked about the Santa rally and stuff. I'm going to be optimistic, and hopefully we have a good decent December. We will see. I definitely know everything's getting pricier there, so people don't have as much to invest in. And I still equate this a little bit when I see the channel stats. Like when I see what I've noticed with the channel when the market was going, going up. More view. It's always interesting to see how more viewers and stuff come to the channel and more subscribers. And now it's slowed down. So I think maybe people aren't putting as much in their investments right now because it is slowed down. That's what I find interesting. So I think maybe YouTube statistics are a good way to track the sentiment of the market in terms of what's happening. We still get lots of views on the channel, but the subscribers are coming back and viewing it, but you can see new viewers not as much coming in, so that means people aren't necessarily thinking of investing anymore, which is unfortunate, because I think this is a good time to keep dollar cost averaging, just keep regular, slowly but surely building it up. I think we'll all be happy when everything kind of does finally, hopefully, turn around at some point. And we'll be looking back at this time, for putting our heads down and being consistent. I think will be paid off in the long term, hopefully. That's my inspiration, at least inspiration speech for the day on that. We'll see how that carries. How that does carry through on that, but we'll have to see. And that's the news. That's the news. But things are definitely getting more expensive. I was at the grocery store this morning and parked outside, and they had everybody's getting their Christmas trees up, their real Christmas trees, and I had to send a picture to a friend this morning because I saw the Christmas trees were a Christmas tree, like a cut Christmas tree, was $75 for a 5, maybe just a regular tree that you'd find at the grocery store. It was crazy. I'm like, holy cow, that is nuts. I seem to remember them not too long ago being $25, $30. Now they're like double almost, which is crazy. So everything's getting expensive. I think everybody at Christmas time, hopefully, will have to be watching their pennies a bit more. The one thing with the grocery store too, though, because I go in to try and get fresh vegetables, because vegetables don't really work too well with curbside, and there's literally nothing, like no broccoli, nothing around, not even organic stuff. Like, not that you want to spend more, but there's nothing in the stores. I don't know with where you are, but nothing here. It's like Brussels sprouts and onions. And Sharma, welcome. So you're saying keep BFE? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, right? And I might cut. That's a good one to dollar cost average too. Yeah, good point. There's no benefit of having both BFEs unless you want more U.S. exposure. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it would. I guess the thing is, it would XEQT would cover. I mean, if I was to do an auto deposit, say $50 a week, I could put it in XEQT, or I could do like $25 to BDY, $25 to VFE, but I was thinking of just doing one coming out as a purchase. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think either one is a wrong. I don't think either choice is probably a wrong choice. It would just be something to kind of get some input on. I'm going to do definitely a bit more research in what's all in XEQT and what the other holdings are before I push that button. And it is kind of fun pushing individual stocks. But there's a lot of people on here that are ETFs only. There's nothing wrong with either way of doing it. That's kind of the fun part of it, is because you can make mistakes along the way, but you learn, and it is kind of neat to be able to, it's kind of nice to be able to say, oh, I own an individual share of XYZ, whatever the company is. I get that. It is kind of fun. I think if we look at it though too, if you look at the averages and the average person, I think most people, well, if you're dollar cost averaging, you'll be hopefully doing okay. But I think most people do better if you're just, I think ETFs, I think I can see it in my portfolio, right? I mean, usually ETFs are performing better. But sometimes you just want to there's for whatever reason you want to get an individual stock. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's good. But everybody's different. I don't want too many, because that's the one thing I find with, if you have too many in your portfolio, it's a lot to kind of manage and keep an eye on, because you do want to. I kind of want to keep the allocation. It's more work. That's all it is. And I guess investing, it should be work. It shouldn't be super easy, but you want to keep I'm trying to keep certain percentages of portfolio, so it does involve, rebalance, not necessarily rebalance by selling or rebalancing that way, but next, keeping an eye on where your deposits are going. And it's hard sometimes when you're only putting a small amount in, like in general term, if you're looking at the big picture, it's kind of like if you're only putting in $50, it's hard to sometimes. There is fractional shares, but some of them don't have fractional. So it's kind of like you have to kind of strategically look where you want to purchase. So it makes it hard when you have a ton of individual stocks. That's why I'm kind of thinking like put something on autopilot, just so I can kind of cover it, and dollar cost average, and not necessarily think about things too much, but still want to invest in other stuff like Telus, and even like basically all the BTC.Y on that. Basically everything in my portfolio, for the most part, I still want to add to, right? But it's hard to always, have the extra money to do it. But we'll see. But I think most people, Sharma, I think most people that are watching most people on the channel have individual stocks. I'm not sure. I think maybe Zach, if he's still watching, maybe he's the only one with XEQT. I'm not sure. But there's nothing wrong with that either. Just to fire, buy into that. I know from watching other channels on YouTube, a lot of people have just individual stocks as well. A lot of people on Wealthsimple. So, but just more to manage, more to keep an eye on. I think if you have too many in there. But that will be set up. I'll get that set up. But Sharma, I guess if you're watching still, are you just have individual stocks, or do you have what ET? Do you have any ET? I guess let me know. I guess everybody if you're in the comments, like, what's your? I know there's a few people that have VFE. Like, what's your S&P? What are some of the ETFs that you like? XEQT is the popular one. I know VFE and BTC.Y. That's kind of the three of the main ones. But if anybody's got anything different that they have and have an eye on, let us know in the comments. It's always kind of good to see what other people are looking at. I know some of the BMO ones are popular too. There's the BMO Dividend. What is it? It's hold on, I can find it. The ZW, the covered call one is I know it's popular. The Canadian Dividend one, the covered call ZWC. is another popular one people have mentioned before on the Canadian side. And yeah, that's the thing with ETFs. There's so many out there, that it's you can go you can you can go kind of crazy looking at them all. If you go to the BlackRock, like the BlackRock website, there's like, I don't want to say hundreds, but there's got to be, a good there probably has to be 100. I don't know, does it even list here? Let's pull it up. Like, there's got to be, on quick look here, whoops, there's probably, like, there's 7 pages. How many? There's 100 per page, so there's like 700 I guess, or close to. If there's 7-page one, no, there's 200. So 100, and then the next page they say 100 per page, so pretty close to, I would say, 200. We can scroll way up. There's like a couple hundred ETFs to choose from, so it can be quite daunting sometimes to actually know what to pick, even in an ETF. And then you turn on to, if you turn on to individual stocks, like literally the sky's the limit with what people invest in. If you're wondering on individual stocks, it's always interesting to go and see, like, if you go onto the Wealthsimple on the trade side, you can actually go and see the top 100 that are getting traded. That's kind of a good suggestion too. I kind of say to people, because then you kind of know what the general market is doing, at least with Wealthsimple, which I would assume is probably covers the whole other, would be very similar to other whatever other investment places you have. So I don't know, like, and some of the top ones in there, like if you go in and actually look, I can log in my phone here and just see some of the top 100 on trade in the Discover tab. You can actually, it's like Air Canada, Tesla, Apple, AMC, and then VFE is in there. And let's see if there's any other ETFs. That's a popular one, obviously. VOO, and that is the ZWC is top 100, and VDY is top 100, and VGROW is top 100 of in trade, and then there's a few other going down the bottom, that are popular. So that's kind of one way to look at it too. One way to look at even top, like some of the top stocks that are traded. But I'm going to say it's most popular to possibly trade. There's people that are maybe trading a lot on there. I'm not sure, but that's a good way to find ETFs. There's also actually like tabs of different what's popped up. They do different sectors to kind of look at stuff too. Like they have one that's in there right now for high interest ETFs. We were talking about that yesterday. So there are some of those that are in there that you can look at. Kind of a good way to find that. And there's also some different ones, like they'll break it down like top US stocks, top Canadian stocks. Then you can go to like top losers, top gainers. But they do have like a lot of built-in kind of lists with categories, which kind of makes things handy to kind of look around for things. Like you probably won't be able to see it that well, but they do have top lists that are, and then some of the ones that you can also do that are fractional and set up for reoccurring investments too. So you can actually set that up for different things. Makes it a bit kind of handy to find things with the top some of the top ones. And I think actually the top, let's just see here for recurring, let's see if the top recurring investments, let's see if XEQT is on there. I don't think it is. It is not. They have a few other iShares on, but not XEQT. But there's more than it goes through more than 100, that's for sure. So somewhere to kind of look. No shortage of options. That's the hard. That's the thing. And that that is really all the news I had to share today. So if anybody has other further questions, it's always good. Join on. Is anybody buying anything today? I guess that's another thing we always like to ask anybody. I know a couple people bought. Oh, I've been buying. It's been on everybody's mind, or a lot of people's mind, is Algonquin. Uh, and there was someone that bought yesterday because the price is down, and I know Candace is working on a video on that as well. She used to own it, I think she mentioned in her live stream, and then sold it. So she's doing a for people that are interested. She's doing more of a deep dive if it's a good one to buy or not going forward. I'm not sure when that'll be out. Sometime on her channel, and then we'll see how that does. I don't own that one directly, and I'm just trying to look here if I can find something on, because we had Cyber Monday. If there's any updates on the numbers, and we finally have some news popping up. So I'm going to share that. We can talk about Cyber Monday. I got so many Cyber Monday emails. It was not even funny. I'm still getting them. It's like, it's not too late for Cyber Monday. It's not too late for Cyber Monday. It kind of gets annoying. So Cyber Monday set sales records as shoppers splurge on toys and electronics. Let's see here. So people are snapping up Pokemon card, TVs, air fryers, Cyber Monday, pushing sales. So Cyber Monday sales were 11.3 billion. This is in the States, it looks like, according to Adobe Analytics. Not adjusted for inflation, rose 5.8% from a year ago. E-commerce performance by analyzing purchases, 85% of the top 100 internet retailers in the United States. So Cyber Monday, popular. Yeah, there we go. Major retailers, Target, Macy's, Best Buy have all signaled a return to pre-pandemic shopping patterns and the need to discount more heavily during the traditional single-day shopping event. So obviously lots of good deals out there. If you're looking for something, I guess, toys were the hottest product on Cyber Monday, with online sales going up nearly eightfold compared to an average day in October 2022. So electronics are up. People are buying Pokemon cards. I guess those are popular again. Hot Wheels cars, PlayStations, smart TVs, and Apple AirPods were among the best-selling products. And then Shopify. Shopify merchants logged a record $7.5 billion in sales globally from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. I find that interesting. I find it interesting that AirPods are so popular, because those things are so expensive. You look at the price of those, and it's crazy for a set of headphones that you're going to lose. That's why I always buy the ones that have cords that I won't lose, and bigger ones, because these little iPods. I mean, I don't have an iPhone, but even the wireless Bluetooth ones, they're a pain in the butt to charge. The sound is usually terrible. So maybe spending money on iPods is better because they're better quality. I don't know, but they're too expensive. And then you lose them, notoriously lose them, because they're so small. So not my cup of tea. But apparently people are buying electronics for Cyber Monday, and that I've got bombarded with any company that I must have had an account with, or some type of for example, StreamYard, they are doing a Cyber Monday, Black Friday special. Every kind of subscription service has some kind of Cyber Monday. I had cell phone Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm still getting them. This year, I think more than ever, was bombarded with literally bombarded with emails from Cyber Monday, enough to like make me want to like cut off some of these like not subscriptions, but some of these email lists for different things I've signed up for. It gets to be a bit annoying. Even if I think I even had my car. I drive a Mazda. I even had Mazda sending me stuff for Black Friday. It's like super super annoying to be tempted to buy things. And it's interesting because I got the StreamYard thing popped up today because I'm doing that challenge, right? Not doing a StreamYard challenge, and of course it's tempting me. But the product they're announcing on a deal is like more of a pro version for a better price, and they're doing like webinars and stuff like that. So it's like, doesn't matter. I'm still not going to subscribe to that. I'll keep investing in Brookfield instead of StreamYard. All right, there we go. Almost to the quarter hour. This one always goes so fast. It's always appreciated when everybody joins on. We've got a few all the regulars coming in. I do thank everybody that takes the time out of their morning, has a coffee. If they're sneaking on the live stream at work, don't get caught. But if you're able to join on, it's always appreciated. We usually have a good group, good conversation, and it's always kind of fun to see what the market's doing, a bit of news, and what everybody else is investing in. And I do always appreciate everybody's tips and suggestions. And so hopefully, if anybody's watching that can gain from other people, that's the goal on our investing as we start to grow our portfolio. So thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you're just tuning in now, you will catch the replay always on the channel. So it's always appreciated to watch and watch the replays and watch the other videos. On that note, still over 1,000 subscribers, 1,100, which is awesome. So the channel is still growing slowly but surely. We're moving along. And an update, everybody's kind of always questioned. Sometimes I get a question if I'm making money on this channel yet. No, but that's not the goal of the channel. It's just to get out there and learn. But it's close. We're getting there. So every view is appreciated. Once we have a few more people watching the live stream and joining in and watching the replays and watching other videos on the channel, it'll happen. So the goal is to hopefully start to eventually get monetized by the new year, but it's got to hammer down, make more videos, do more live streams, and it'll happen when it happens. So it will be fun. And then what I can do is if I do get a little bit of the side hustle, revenue coming through from the ads and stuff like that are showing, we'll roll it right back into the TFSA. So it's a win that way, even if it's a little bit. So always appreciate it. On that note, happy Tuesday. We will be scheduling the next live stream for tomorrow, so you can pop onto the channel and you can set the notification. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Pacific time, usual time. And then as you know, we start off with fireplace. Well, let's have a little bit of relaxing with the fireplace. But before you go and log off, make sure you do hit that like button. It definitely really helps out the channel. And if you know anybody, that's what I always like to kind of say. If you know anybody that think might be interested in joining the live stream, having a chat, or see some value in some of the old videos, share the channel. It's always appreciated that way to have new people join along and join our good group. I think we've got a good community here. I do appreciate everybody taking their time to spend on the live stream and spend the time viewing the other videos on the channel, because I know there's lots of other choices out there. So I do appreciate you when you stop by, and we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll catch you tomorrow. We'll leave off with a fireplace, a little bit of relaxing before the day starts, and I'm going to start my day working pretty soon here.